Welcome back to Razmafzar TV. Hi, Beat. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you very much. Today, we are going to talk about Archäologisches Museum, Archaeology Museum in Frankfurt, in Germany, which is a
Mhm.
very, very important museum. We are going to talk about different parts of it. Let me just open this because then we are going to see what this museum offers, and this is unbelievable. Among them, also beautiful pieces of arms and armor. Okay,
Mm.
let me just go back and take a look at this with beats so we can discuss about them.
Ooh,
I think you can get a glimpse of what is
I'm
expected.
getting a bit excited here. This is looking like really good stuff.
Yes. The first part of the collection is very interesting because the first part of the collection is an ancient Iranian collection. These were
Mhm.
collected by a collector who was born in Frankfurt, was, I think, raised in Frankfurt, then went to live and work in London. There, I think he was quite a good businessman and collected beautiful items from ancient Iran, including
Mhm.
Luristan and also northern Iran, like Gilan, Amlash. And
Mhm.
Grawert is his name, and he gave this collection, donated this collection to the Archaeology Museum in Frankfurt. One of our colleagues, she also wrote a book on parts of this collection, which is called in German mit Hieb und Stich, means with cuts and thrusts. So it's about these ancient Iranian artifacts, very important ones. When you go to the museum, they have always a permanent exhibition on these items, but not all of them are an exhibition, clear. But they
Yeah,
have a
too many
permanent
things to
exhibition.
show. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But every time you go there, this Iranian exhibition, I think the museum is very proud of that, which they have every reason to. You will see they have
Oh,
an
yes.
exceptional collection of ancient Iran. Really nice
Mm.
to see that. So we're going to talk about them. First, we see that there are two helmets, bronze helmets, and the
Mhm.
first one, bronze helmet, uh,
Some,
attributed to Hassan Lu. Hassan Lu is a very famous area in Iran.
yeah.
Lots of arms and armor were excavated there, 900 BCE. Please take a look at this
Yeah.
helmet bead.
This is a very sophisticated design of helmet. Um, from an artistic point of view, the giant eyebrows are great. I like those.
Yes.
Um, but it's got a embossed ridge going up the
Yes.
center to strengthen that part of the helmet. It's got a taper that would take any blade off to the side. If somebody tried to strike straight down on your head, it would slide off to the side.
Yes.
It's it's in a way, it's almost as sophisticated as helmets 2,000 years later, isn't it?
It is. My thoughts as
It's
well.
yeah. You can see there's like a ridge running around the bottom and a series of holes, obviously, to take the lining and possibly any armored neck guard that was attached to it as
Yes.
well.
What kind of neck guard did they use in that period? That's very
Well,
interesting.
I'm going on Assyrian um, bas reliefs, which there are a lot. Um, it probably is scale one,
Scale, yes.
small scale, small scale. Like just going down there, covering the back of the neck, sitting on the shoulders out a little bit. Not as extensive as later male aventails for helmets were. Almost certainly attached to the helmet and not attached to anything underneath.
Yes.
Um, but quite effective. Scale, because scales are overlapping downwards, that means, again, blows striking on the scales tend to slide off. They don't get caught on anything. So they have quite an effective presence as a,
When
particularly
did
neck
they,
defenses.
Pete, when did they stop to use scale? I mean, I cannot answer these questions clearly. I'm aware of that because lots of type of armor were used at the same time. But when did they approximately stop using scale in Iran, in Persia?
I think it was an on and off thing.
Yes.
Certainly the Parthians use scale. They like
Yes.
little rectangular scales.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So that's 700 or 800 years later than this, and
Yes.
they were still using scale when they were overthrown by the Sasanians because the rock reliefs clearly show them wearing scale
Yes,
aventails on their helmets.
they do.
So scale lasted a long time. See, the advantages of scale are you make it out of small pieces. They're sewn to a backing. Uh, they overlap each other side to side and often sewn together. Now, the Romans particularly used wire to sew them together side to side,
Yeah.
which is how you can identify Roman scale armor, generally speaking, because I don't think anyone else used wire. Everybody else just laced them together or stitched them together. Um, it's flexible. Its big problem is it's quite heavy
Oh, yeah.
because lots of little scales. Now, there's a Metropolitan Museum of Art has a beautiful, I think, roughly 5th to 7th century BC leather scale armor, a
Oh,
cuirass, so
mhm.
body and like a
Which culture, Beat?
well, it comes up as Scythian. Scythian.
Mm,
Um, uh, there's been some talk in a paper
mm,
that was published a few years ago after they found another couple of these in Xinjiang
yes.
in Western China. That maybe it was an Assyrian influence on Scythian and and other steppe nomads because it was very. These ones were made of leather, so they were lighter, and they were. If you've got a large supply of animals, you're going to have an excess of leather at some stage or another. Now, I know why you could think of this as being Assyrian influence, but the thing is, these scales have three holes in a row on the top of each scale, and they're stitched onto their backing. So one of the three holes, the one on the right side of the scale, overlaps the hole on the
Mm,
left side of the scale. So the stitching goes, in through two scales, out through two scales, up through two scales, down through. So it's a very solid structure. Now, there have been bronze scales with that three-hole pattern designed to be sewn onto a backing that way,
yeah.
found in Achaemenid layers in Egypt. And there's also been scales of that nature found in Persepolis. Now, I think it's more likely that that style of scale um, may have originated on the steppe and spread out rather than it originated in Assyria and went back to the steppe and then spread out that way. I it's quite possible. I mean, the Assyrians had lots of different types of scale armor. They had rectangular ones. They had ones that looked like the ancient Egyptian ones, and even older ones from places like Nubia and that in Mesopotamia. So there was a big range of scale designs, and the way they overlapped was also um, quite complex in some, simple in others. They always overlap. When you see scale armor, like the armor that the Polish noblemen wore in the 17th and 18th centuries, in the Sarmatian phase of Polish culture, those scales are just one next to the other,
Yes.
and they don't overlap. And so they're not as effective. But say Roman scales, Persian, Assyrian, Scythian, everybody else, the scales overlapped. So that meant it was really hard to stab. Now,
Yeah.
my guess about the three-hole scales is that if you're mass producing scales in hundreds of thousands, and you want a system that will, even if you make a mistake, the scales will still fit together properly and you'll still have the overlap. This three-hole scale, I think, is the minimalist approach to get an effective mass producible armor.
Mm,
And it works in leather, it works in metal. Um, you've only got to drill three holes in it or punch three holes in it. I think the leather ones, they're little rectangular holes, so they've been punched with a punch. Um, it it would be so much more efficient to produce lots of these. If they're a bit heavy, well, you're still alive at the end of the battle. You're just tired.
yes. And look at the next one, please. This is from northwestern Iran,
Mhm.
800 BC.
So you see, again, the Assyrian bas reliefs show helmets like this being
Yes.
used by the Assyrians.
Yes.
So are we looking at a helmet design developed in Iran that's moved into Syria, or are we looking at an Assyrian design that moved from Assyria into Iran? It's really hard to tell. That is a fully developed version of that helmet. Later helmets, thousands of years later, the spike is actually a separate piece applied, but this is all raised out of one piece of bronze.
Yes.
I mean, it's a real tour de force. Um, the reason that those spikes were useful is again deflecting downward sword blows. I mean, their biggest disadvantage is if someone goes like that across the top of your head and hits it, it pulls the helmet off your head or
It does.
or
It does.
jerks your neck or something like that.
It does.
But in when people don't have room to do these big roundhouse swings when they're just dropping at each other, that's probably a really good design.
Yes. And it has
It's a
also
very
again
nice
holes.
shape. Sorry,
It
yeah.
has holes.
Again,
Yeah.
yeah. You've got to think that it's a very elegant shape too.
Yes.
The other one was too. These are kind of practical, but designed to be beautiful as well.
Yes. Very beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
I mean, it doesn't need a lot of decoration. I mean, from Ilam in southwestern Iran, there are helmets that have gods in
Yes.
cast in bronze and gilded fitted to them and things like that. So they in Iran they knew about all these techniques and these things, but this is very economical in its shape.
Yes.
There's
Very.
nothing. I mean, despite the fact it would be really hard to make.
We have very. No, I was casting will be how.
Well, this they won't cast this; they will hammer this out of a sheet of bronze
Oh,
because it's
this works. Yes. Yes.
it's too thin. I mean, to make this
Yeah.
um
I mean, the plates need to be cast first because bronze is cast. That's what I mean, right?
yeah. They cast a flat sheet of bronze and
Yes.
then raise it up. Yeah,
Yes.
like silver workers and copper
Yes.
workers do in
Exactly.
the bazaars. It's
Yes.
the same process. Lots
Yes.
of annealing. You'd heat it up to a certain temperature so it gets soft, then you'd hammer it for a while, and the
Yes.
hammering would make it harder. Then you'd anneal it again. And I've watched on videos of coppersmiths in Iran
Yes.
making quite complex shapes in
Very.
copper, and they go through all the same processes the people that would have made this helmet
Yes.
would go through
They
because
do too.
it's basically the best way to do it.
And if you go and watch them, I mean, even today, when you do it, they do it in Isfahan. They have a bazaar doing that,
Mhm.
coppersmith. And also back then, the problem of it is if you make one mistake in your casting process in the sheath, then there is a crack, there is a problem. Then you need to melt it again. Right? That's the problem
Yeah,
of casting, right? Yeah, very beautiful.
yeah.
Which one
There's
is your
lots of difficulties.
favorite?
Oh, it's really hard to say. I don't know who'd frighten me more. I like the simple one. I like the one with the eyebrows too, because it's got more things to talk about. But if I was wearing a helmet to save my life, I think the simple one would be the better one because there's less things for the blade to catch on. You know, it's a
And
practical
now
thing.
we
All these
go
aren't.
to the next ones.
So these are the hilt is cast in one piece with the blade.
No, these are cast on one. So the blade is first cast with a tank, then
Uh-huh.
the
Then the
this
hilt
type
is
is
cast
cast
on.
on.
Yeah.
But we will see one in one piece. We will see them as well.
Mm.
This is a cast on, crescent shape, or this is a beautiful one bead. Look at this.
Yeah. How long is it roughly?
And this one is
Put
about, I can tell you exactly, almost 40. Almost
40
40
centimeters.
centimeters. Yes.
So it's about that
Yeah.
long.
Short sword length.
So when you hold that, if you have the pommel down there, you're very restricted. It's really for stabbing up like that, which if you're holding a shield and the guy in front of you, you're
Yeah.
going like that. If you held it in the reverse grip, it's really quite good for stabbing down. That pommel gives you a very strong
Pete,
angle in
we
your wrist.
talked about Indian examples of the handles of some
Yeah,
daggers. You see how some designs last for
yeah.
long
Yeah,
time.
they don't go out of style. And the Indian daggers are likewise very effective. Often they have very thin grips like that as well, because it's the shape of the pommel and the crossguard that locks your hand in place. You don't have to have a wide grip for that.
Yes. And it
But
had a
these are
mid-range.
very elegant.
Very.
Sorry?
It has a mid-rib as well, so cast on.
Yeah, the ribbing is really quite nice because
Yes.
this is where your two middle fingers will be holding it.
This type,
It gives you a feedback.
yes, we see excavated, scientifically excavated ones in Murray, also in Iranian museums. You see many
Hmm.
examples similar to that, 1,300 to 1,000. So from
Yeah.
Gilan, north of Iran.
Oh, right. So up near the Caspian.
Yes,
Mm.
beautiful.
That's a lovely piece. The piece of gold down
And we will
below
talk
it's just
about it.
finger.
This is from Marlik, pure. This is gold.
Oh,
Yeah, we will see
right.
that. This one is
Beautiful.
also very nice. These mushroom shapes, most of them come from north
Yeah.
Iran. Gilan as well, 1,000 to 1,300. This is also cast on, as you can see. So they cast first the
Yeah.
blade in the tank, then this handle on that.
I'm looking at the way the crossguard curves down along the edge of the blade,
Yeah,
forming like a ricasso, so you can
yeah,
put your finger over it without cutting yourself at the base of the blade.
yes,
Um, I mean, I'm not saying they did that, but that's something that occurs to me when I look at it. Strong midrib, which is common on bronze swords to make sure they're stiff enough.
yes,
Um, though properly work hard and they'd be very effective.
yes,
Again, something that's quite nimble,
yes,
like a kame or something like that, where
yes. Like a
it's something you can get in close with and well, they look like they do a fair bit of damage.
yeah,
Again, not something I'd like someone pointing at me.
yeah.
But I
That's
wonder if that's cast on solid, as you say, that pommel would be a very good percussion
yeah,
weapon.
very good. They look like
If
a
you
like they look like a mace hat, right?
yeah, if you came up behind someone and just went bang on the back of their head with that, they'd be down. They'd be out.
Yes, definitely. Now we come to these
Whoa.
beautiful iron mask swords. We have many of them from Luristan. In Arms and Armor from Iran, I have published also from many collections, including Iranian museums. So he has two of them. So
Mm,
many of them are cast from iron, and there are scientific studies on them. Some of them are cast from 12 to as many as 18 different pieces beat. So
mm.
800 to
So
700
so
pieces.
they're basically iron blade with the bronze handle and bronze
Yes.
figures gilded.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they do
See,
this
that's
handle. They cast the blade, then they cast the handle on top of it, cast on. Then
mm,
they do this different casting in a lost wax method. They put it then this.
mm.
Just let me just look at them, Pete.
Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Beautiful, aren't they, Pete? Look, close-ups show how beautiful they are.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, these are really pretty. Um, and clearly there's wear and tear on the face. Clearly these are been used and worn and carried around. They're not just made for burial or something like that. These are actual working weapons. It's interesting that um, they should have gone from the Bronze Age to Iron Age. So they used the same technique, cast on a handle, but they just changed the blade material to the new modern material.
Yes.
So, hey, we're not going to waste any of our technology. I think
Look
they're
at the
great.
eyes, Pete. Look at the nose.
Yeah, yeah. I that really big round eyes is the thing you see in even as far back as Sumerian art. There's a delight in that
Is it
kind
the
of.
tongue? Look at this. Is it the
No, I
tongue?
think it's his beard. I think it's
Oh
his
no, it's
beard.
beard. No, it's beard. It's not tongue.
Yeah, because he's got a very nicely sculpted beard showing its.
Yes. So these are two human hats. That's one iron mask. And there are always two lions here. Unfortunately, they are corroded, but in some pieces you can
Mm,
clearly see two sitting lions here.
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
very
I just even looking at the masks from the side in profile in the one on the right,
yeah.
you can see how deeply they're sculptured, well,
Yeah,
cast.
you're right.
They're very prominent.
The
Um,
noses, look at the noses from the profile.
it's almost like a bird's beak, isn't it?
Exactly.
But I mean, it's really nicely done.
Yeah.
These sometimes these old carvings of faces have a kind of serene look to them, like they're looking out to, the horizon.
You know,
Uh,
the archaeologists, when they started to write, so everyone imitates and quotes the other, they call
mm,
these swords, and I had them in my hands when I was at the museum. But let me tell you, in spite of all these years went by, they are very well balanced, and they always call them they were specifically made for the graves. I'm not so sure if I agree with that.
no, no.
I mean, why should it doesn't even make sense to me. Specifically
It would
made
be
for the
if you
grave.
wanted to make something just for grave, it would be easy to cast the blade in
Yeah,
bronze too. Less
and
work,
and
and it would look
solid.
good.
Yeah,
Now these, as I say, it's something like a medieval European rondel dagger with that big disc on the top.
yeah.
But
It
you know,
is.
it's a serious looking weapon.
Yeah, look at
Uh,
please the disc as you mentioned. Look how thick the disc is, Pete. Look.
I know, I know. This is, as I say, this is very similar to those rondel daggers. I wonder if the blade was in good condition, would it have a thickened point? Is it meant for stabbing somebody in that scale armor that we were talking about?
Yeah.
Uh, but I think people underestimate how people in the past like to show off
Yeah.
the quality of the weapons they had or the quality of the jewelry, and yeah, things were made just for graves. There's In China, they opened up a tomb. It had a model wooden quiver. There was a piece of wood carved into the shape of a closed quiver, and they'd painted on the opening and they'd painted the arrows inside. It was definitely made for burial. But this looks much more like, well, both of them look like something that was made for use.
Yes.
But for somebody who was very rich or very important, or maybe
Yes, of course.
the high priest or something like that, there might have been a religious meaning to
Yes.
it as well.
Then we go
Oh,
more
I like
ahead.
these.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have again this interesting. The left one we see excavated examples from Amlash, and the right one from Mazandaran. Both of them from the north. These Nordic types have always these interesting shapes. Again, cast on
It's
method, right? Yeah, exactly.
beautifully
So
made.
beautiful.
Really nice designs.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you know, stylistically slightly different, but the bifurcated
Yes.
twin pommel kind of design, which uh, again, this design reoccurs in Spain in the 14th, 15th century.
Yes. Yes.
When you see these things and you think, oh, this is a nice Bronze Age sword, and then the back of your mind says something like that somewhere else.
Exactly. They
And,
did.
and the reason is people keep coming up with these ideas. Even no way they knew about each other, but it must have been quite a practical thing. And maybe some of the practice is you put in your hand on the pommel as you're sitting down and you're showing off. I
Yeah.
I've said this a lot with some of these really highly decorated weapons. Uh, if you can afford to have one made for you, you can afford to spend a bit to make sure it looks really good. And they work just the same. The blade on the one on the right looks particularly nasty. I think you
Nasty.
could do serious damage with that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one on the left is a little bit more corroded. I'm assuming it's the different soils they were found in.
Yes. Yes. Different
And
source.
that's even though um and they're so old.
There we go. 2000 BC. Yeah.
I mean, this is frightening. 4,000 years old altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, and here we've got something. It looks so modern in design, like in
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Mm.
Yeah, we have a close up. Please look at this,
Oh
Pete.
wow.
Pete,
Yeah.
look at this. It's like, look at the lines here, Pete.
It's like they're reproducing in metal something made from cord
Yeah.
or decorated with cord.
Yeah.
And certainly the handles look as though they're actually a bronze reproduction of a handle that's been wrapped in leather
Yes, you're right.
lace
You're
or
right.
something like
It's a reproduction
that.
of the close
And
ups
and
show how much work went into it, right?
oh yeah, it's beautifully detailed. There's nothing. I mean, whoever made the hilts was an artist,
Yeah.
like big time. Because there's, I mean, I'm guessing that the asymmetry in the pommel is probably a burial artifact. Like,
Yeah.
it's been under a few stones and it's pushed it slightly out of true because Otherwise, it looks as though it was meant to be like a crescent on top of a straight line.
Yes.
But it's still really nice looking.
Yes. Very
And
nice.
4,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to look that good.
And look at this one beat now. Closer.
Yeah. It's even more interesting. Look at how the pommel is hollow. The
Yeah.
other one was hollow too, in a way, but this is more obvious. It's like two crests over an empty space, but there's
Yes.
possibly the top of the tang going up
Yes.
through the
That's
middle
the
just
top
to
of the
show
tank.
everything's. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the
it's
cast on method. And here you can see the top of the tank, how far it goes
mm,
up. Yeah.
yeah. These are lovely. Yeah, yeah. That one is pared right down, um, so everything is more smoother and you know more comfortable to grasp. This one strikes me as a particularly practical
Yeah.
one. And bearing in mind, again, we're talking about people fighting with shields, getting in close.
Yeah.
Uh, this is more than 1,500 years before the Romans adopted the gladius,
Yes.
and a gladius would have been bigger than one of these, but
Yes.
but it's the same principle as, let's say, the Greek skophos. These little swords that were meant for close in fighting when you've broken your spear and you're pushing the other guy with your shield and he's pushing back and you pull out a little thing and you just go
Yeah.
and hopefully put him out of business.
Yeah.
But just elegant. They're so elegant.
Elegant, really. This is another
Oh,
one,
that.
also from northern Iran. Again, cast on method. This one is also
Mm,
beautiful. Look.
yeah, it's also got a quite murderous look to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
It's
does.
it's not long thin blade. This is we're going to really finish you off with this. Um, but again, every part of the design is thought out carefully.
Yeah.
Um, the a lot of bronze sword had central ribs on the blades,
Yes.
just because um, if you made like a diamond section bronze sword, it'd be very heavy unless it's very narrow. So this is a way of making a sword with good, strong edges, but it's nowhere near as heavy as it would be under other circumstances.
Yes.
And it's very that midrib where the corrosion is worn away. It's
Yes.
very crisp,
Very crisp.
very, very sharp
Very.
edged, very nicely molded.
Now we come to Luristani pieces and Elam and also one. So these are, you see that you can find, these are from Luristan, not from North. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
go through this. This is this example from Elam. You see excavated ones from National Museum of Iran. These are quite old as well, really old,
Oh yeah,
cast
well,
on metal.
Milan is such an ancient civilization.
Yeah,
Uh,
look at this one.
it, yeah, this is really interesting. So, are these from the mountainous parts of Iran, of Elam, I mean, or
Yeah,
from the plains like near Susa?
plain. These are from the plain Susa down there.
Okay, because one of the things that is very interesting about the stuff on the plains was it was both influenced by and influenced, and at this date, the Sumerians,
Yes.
because it's that old. So Elam developed a form of writing, which we still can't read very well,
Yeah.
around about the same time as the Sumerians did.
Yeah.
And then when people from the Mesopotamia conquered the lowlands, they brought cuneiform with them, and the Elamites adopted it and redesigned it for their language. But and they stopped using their native form of writing. But the fact is, these were very intelligent people. They
Yes.
were great craftsmen in bronze. I mean, some of the biggest bronze statues ever made in the ancient world were made in Iran.
Yeah.
A couple of them have been dug up, and I've seen photographs of them. They're stunning, but the technology to cast that much bronze. But this has kind of got a, I don't know. I'm trying to work out whether it reminds me of a fish or a pine nut. And it's not.
It
It's
does.
it's one or the other.
The handle. And
Yeah.
the blades
I mean,
of
it can.
them are always this type. I've seen had of many of them. National Museum is always these like, as you can see, leaf
Leaf shape.
shape, like a very
Yeah.
beautiful.
the elves of Elam. uh, it's quite a serious looking knife, even though the blade is quite short. It's got a lot of edge because of the leaf shape. There's a lot of damage it could do.
Yeah. And hand guard. It
Um,
has a integrated hand.
yeah, I mean that's so modern looking,
Yeah.
and it's what up to 2600 BCE, so somewhere between that and 350. That is so long ago to have something as sophisticated. If you saw that on a modern knife, like on a trench knife or a fighting knife from the Second World War, it wouldn't look out of place. Not the handgun, I mean. It's just and integral to that cast bronze handle.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Very
interesting you see these kind of very advanced ideas.
nice. So this is these earliest ones, right? The earliest ones, as you know, they made the tank. So later on
Mm-hmm.
they do, and then they put it made of bone, made of stone or ivory or whatever, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
wood. So they made the handle. Later on they figured out they can have, they made this, then they made a cast on, right? The
Yeah,
reason we
yeah,
say that is this. This is what you meant. This is in one cast. Luristani pieces
yeah,
in one cast. And then they inserted the bone. Guys, look at this. Then they get
yeah,
look like this. This one
yeah,
has its insertions, original
yeah.
insertions.
I've handled one or two of these. Nothing near the number you have. One particularly from Mittani, and this kind of concept of the grip scales of the handle have these recesses cast into the sides of the handle, so they just fit in. They use a couple of rivets to hold them in place. It looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, you very rarely see them where the bone or the ivory is still
Yes.
there, but
Let
when you
us
see the
go back to
contrasting
our original
colors,
one. This one. Look at this bead. Okay, it
yeah.
is missing its inserts, but that's what in one piece. And this is Luristan 1200 BCE. What do you think about this
Mm.
piece, Pete?
I I like the fact. I mean, it's two-edged blade, so they've got an indentation for the index finger on both sides, so you can use
Yes.
it either way.
They do, yes.
It's sophisticated. I mean, this is design that's been deeply thought out. And those indentations, obviously, they were cast higher, and you put the grip scale in, and then you hammer them over, and possibly all the way around the edge to stop the grip scale falling out. Because this one has no holes for rivets, so
Mm.
it was held in like a cabochon jewel is held in by its mounting by
Yes.
the bezels. So the bezels are originally straight up, and then they just hammer it in slightly, and the bits don't come out.
Yes.
And you don't have to make holes in it or anything. And you can see around the edges where it's been tapped into place. It's just that whatever was there over 3,000 years has rotted away.
Yeah. So
But it's
then
still,
the
it's
next
really
one,
effective.
excuse me.
I just like, yeah, I just like the shapes of these. They're just really nice. See that
Very.
handle, which matches that. But then you look at the decoration on the handle by itself, where the blade's broken off. And then on the next slide,
Yes.
they put all kinds of engravings on the blade.
So let's talk
So
about
that
the one on the left, which is broken, has a broken blade. Look at this bead.
it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
And they're using two different techniques. In one, that looks like a stag being attacked
Yes.
by a
It
snake.
is.
Doesn't
Look
it?
at this. Let me see here.
Yeah, yeah,
And a
it,
snake, right? Look.
yeah, and it's biting one snake, and the
Yes.
other snake's creeping up, and it's sitting down with its legs folded. Uh, this is kind of you see this in Scythian art too. They love stags that are sitting down with their heads turning to the back.
Yeah.
But this poor stag's in a lot of trouble. But see the differences in style. Like the handle is made to have these inlaid grip scales, but
Yes.
the blade, this is carved into the bronze.
Yes.
Now, whether it's carved into the bronze after it's cast or it's carved into the wax um, master for the casting is a different matter.
Yes.
I don't know. And probably microscopic examination of the blade would tell you whether it's been cut out or whether it's been cast in and then just finished
Yes.
around the edges.
It can show.
But it's really interesting. It's a shame that the rest of the blade didn't survive because it must have been
No.
a spectacular looking sword.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Yeah,
But
it didn't.
again, this one where the grip scales go, you see there's two holes for rivets.
Yeah,
So the grip scales were fitted in tightly and then they were riveted so that they wouldn't fall
yes.
apart.
Very nice.
Give something 3,000 years, and if it's organic, like if it's horn or something, it's gone.
And
I
this
mean,
one
bone is
has
better.
its original insert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it shows you how spectacular they would have been.
yeah,
That's another one that had rivet holes. You can see it. There's a rivet at the top. You
yeah,
can see the top half at the bottom of the top piece of another rivet hole.
yeah,
And then at the top of the bottom piece,
yeah,
there's the remains of yet another rivet hole,
yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Um, and again, where that index finger part is, they've cast it with flanges up like that and then hammered them over to hold that more firmly. Really nice.
Mm. It
It
reminds of
makes,
Yatagan, later Ottoman
yeah,
Yatagan.
well, yatagans and some of those North African
Yeah,
daggers,
North African as well.
Jambias type daggers, have this kind of
Yeah,
pommel.
yeah, they do.
Uh, and again, there's no historical connection between the two. They're thousands of years apart,
Yeah.
but they had the same design ideas. And you know, it's slightly
Yeah,
different,
of
but still.
course. It's very beautiful. And now they figured out instead of doing this, they're going to have a cast on method. They still keep the design. This is Luristan, it's
Mm,
not from the north. So they want and they
yeah.
cast on, but the same possible look concept, you know?
Yeah. Well, you can even see they've cast in the flanges folded over
Yes, they
to hold
did.
in the grip scale. When the grip scale is all one piece, it's not going to fall apart.
Exactly. They
And
still did it. Yeah. Yeah.
and there's a bit of gilding on that, or is that
No, I think
the
this is
bronze
a
showing?
yeah, it's just a yeah.
But see how beautiful that pommel is. It's all hollow inside, and it's it's like a folded leaf or something.
Yeah. It
It's
is
really nice. It's really good looking.
very
It's
nice.
possibly good for when you're stabbing somebody, but I don't think that's really the purpose. I think this is. I think if you're wearing one of these short swords, the shape of the pommel is saying you are from a particular place. You
Yes.
are an Elamite, or you are one of the various tribes up in the northwest. You
Yeah.
know,
It is a
this
pity
is
beat. Many people have the swords made. I mean, but okay, they're from European context. There are some people who cast bronze European swords, some, but not many. And I really wish there could have been some attempts at reconstructing these Iranian items from ancient
I
Iran.
I reckon some of the European bronze sword casters, if they got hold of a 3D model of one of these, would love to make it
Yeah, I will
because
contact
I
them.
think it appeals to knife makers. They like things that work, but they also like a bit of complex shape there. It makes them, gives them a challenge.
Yes.
But imagine if these get 3D modeled and you could buy one and just print it out on a 3D printer
Yes.
and then use that as the basis for casting one. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
These are those crazy axes.
Yes. Loristani axes, they are really
Yeah.
crazy.
They're just so striking.
Yes, very.
Literally, in both senses of the word.
Read
They're
like some
almost even.
examples in the National
Hmm.
Museum. It has also an arrow. You see that?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you would
There's
like
that point this end towards enemies.
it. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I've never seen one like that before.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's very hard to say how they were used because the blade is pointing down,
Yes.
but the top of the blade coming out there, that would make a really strong point if you were striking someone.
Yeah.
And if you're striking like that coming down, that would penetrate in, but the blade's pointing down, so it would keep cutting.
Keep cutting. Yeah.
So it probably would give a terrible wound.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. And even to work out, there's some kind of symbolism in the spikes because even on this one, you can see there's well, three of the spikes have ribs on the socket of the axe that turn into the arrow.
Yeah.
Um, the bottom spike, the rib seems to go around the socket and then up and forms the strengthening of the lower part of the blade before it flares out and becomes a cutting edge.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on in these. I mean, this is just one, and they're all different, and they've all got their own
Yeah.
special features.
It's really
And
beautiful.
again, the age.
Yeah. The age is really, yeah. Old age, yeah.
Hmm.
It's unbelievable. Look at these two, Pete.
They look like science fiction weapons, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
There's something there's something really outside ordinary experience when you look at them. Um, it's it's like somebody built a matic or a garden combination garden tool, and instead of doing it that way, they flattened it and turned it around.
Yeah, they are
I don't know. Maybe you
unbelievable.
could cut before you go into battle. You could comb your hair with it. I don't know. They obviously made it very difficult if someone swung one of these at you and you tried to grab it and pull it out of your shield, you'd be getting all the spikes. They're not sharp, but they would be in the way if you're trying to pull it out of your shield.
Yeah.
The other thing that I always think about is were they originally intended to be uh, axes with long handles used as walking sticks as part of a ceremonial regalia? But they look like they're meant to have your hand rest on the top, and that one seems to have an inscription on the top as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but on the other hand, uh, who knows? Maybe
Pete,
just rank insignia
look at
on an
this
image.
one, Pete.
So that looks. So that's an adze, not an axe.
Yes.
In the
No,
sense,
it's not
an
an
adze
ads.
is
It's ads.
yeah,
Yes.
an adze is usually a tool for cutting wood,
Yes.
not
It's an
cutting
ad.
down trees, but trimming wood into flat
Yes.
shapes and things.
This an ads. Yes.
But on the other hand, if you hit someone with it, they'd feel just as bad as if you hit them with an axe.
Yeah. Look at the
But again,
sharpening attempts, Pete. You see that?
yeah, yeah, we've put a bit of work into that.
Yeah.
I would imagine that that would give a devastating blow. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
guessing that the blade is pointing down almost
Yeah.
like that
Points
because
down. Yes.
I've got a couple of adzes that I use for various things, and the angle of the blade is such that you can do short little chops.
Yes.
And I've seen people with adzes shape really complex shapes. Before they even got to files, they'd have 90% of the work done with an adze. So in a skilled craftsman's hand, they're a great tool.
Yes.
But maybe the Carpenters Guild emblem back in 900 BC.
Mm.
We're having our annual general meeting or whatever. Oh,
Javelin
oh,
hats, spear hats,
mm,
and arrowheads.
yeah. The arrowheads are solid.
Solid,
Uh,
huh?
yeah, my guess is we're looking at something was meant to be shot at somebody who was wearing something hard, maybe just leather armor or something,
Did I have
or a
something
leather.
to tell you?
Mhm.
4 years ago, I was talking to an Iranian archaeologist. They excavated warrior graves, right? And as usual, which really gets on my nerves, meanwhile. Oh, we found two ceremonial swords. Listen, okay. Five axes, three mace heads, and listen to this. Almost 1,000 ceremonial arrowheads.
Ceremonial. Yeah.
Why do you, I mean, excuse me. And I looked at him and said, okay, could you now explain to me why do you have 1,000 ceremonial arrowheads? And he
Hmm.
said, because it was normal for ceremonies to have so many arrowheads. Please, Pete, you know what I mean. Ceremonial arrowheads in that number, right? What kind of ceremony is that? This
Maybe
is
the ceremony of attacking your neighbor's town and shooting 1,000 arrows at them.
exactly
Because
ceremony.
these are quite. I mean, bronze arrowheads are very effective.
Yeah,
If if you're shooting against anything short of steel armor, and to work hard on that to make it very rigid, it's just a matter of rubbing it with a stone,
yeah,
and 10 minutes or so, and you're going to have something that's going to have hold a sharp edge. Um, the javelins strike me as, assuming the two on the right are javelin heads.
yes,
Um, Now I know that javelin use in Western Iran was pretty common, and right up until the 10th, 11th century.
yes.
Uh, the Jupin,
Supin, yes.
which yeah, So, but these have got very wide cutting surfaces. Um, they're almost like shaped like paper airplanes.
Yeah.
you know, I on a reasonably solid shaft, I think they do a lot of damage for people who weren't wearing any kind of armor.
Yeah, yeah. Big ones.
The spearhead looks like you mount it on a big solid shaft and you push it through anything. It looks really solid.
Yeah. Looks like
Um,
socketed.
yeah. Well, socketed makes sense for spears. I mean, the Japanese made tang spears, but socketed makes sense for spears because it also reinforces the front part of the shaft. So if somebody's trying to cut it, they may hit the
Yes.
socket rather than the shaft itself.
Yes.
Um, but yeah,
Yes.
that's
This.
the classic leaf-shaped spear blade, but that's very similar to the styles in iron that were being used in the Archimedes
Yeah,
period.
yeah. Very,
Uh,
very,
yeah,
very similar.
there's very great continuity.
Yes, very
Uh,
similar. One
yeah,
to one. They really
maybe
look. Yes.
maybe it's just because they work.
Yeah.
We've come up with a design. Oh, we've got this new metal. Let's see what happens if we try and make it in the same design as the bronze one. Works really well. Yeah,
Yes.
these are like jet fighter outlines or something, aren't they?
Yeah. It
Uh,
looks like
uh,
B-52.
yeah, I
No,
mean
not B-52.
seriously.
Yeah, almost, almost. Yeah, yeah.
Well, some of those Delta Wing fighter jets. Remember the old French Mirages and things like that.
Yeah,
But
something like
what
that.
strikes me is that this is it designed for aerodynamics? Is it designed so when you throw it, it flies nice and straight? Or is it designed for maximum cutting, which is what I think it might be? But the aerodynamic shape really is rather nice. Again, this is the kind of thing that bronze caster could uh, go out and make a few in bronze and get some athlete to throw them mounted on a spear to see how they perform.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, it's like a very wide, very short sword blade.
Yeah. In a sense,
And
yes.
yeah, and I'm often wonder whether there's so many Tang javelins in the Middle East and in Greece and places like that. Is it because you're throwing them when somebody tries to pull them out of a shield or out of another person or something? There's a fair chance that the shaft will come off in your hand. I mean, that can happen with socketed ones as well.
Yes.
But you could make a functionally practical Tang javelin head that wasn't particularly tightly glued on. See, that one on the right clearly looks as though it's got a strengthened point.
Yeah, it does.
So we're shooting at somebody in scale armor, I think. The one on the left looks like the kind of thing you would harass somebody. So their horses aren't wearing armor. I mean, the Assyrians, for instance, who maybe got shot by these, um, uh, rarely wore any kind of leg armor.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, how devastating these things were. I mean, the Assyrians quite frequently wrote about how effective Elamite archers were, and we're not that far away from Elam.
No.
So clearly, like the whole of the highland tribes that lived
Yes.
in Western Iran at the time, in the Zagros Mountains and things like that.
Yes.
Oh, so it's a whetstone.
Yes.
This is a thing that turns up in a lot of burials all over the world because even in the afterlife, you had to keep your knives and swords sharp. So you
The
needed
thing
something.
is, interestingly, in Iranian warrior graves with so many weapons, they all have different types of whetstones. Because when you go to a ceremony, you need to make sure that you sharpen everything you have for the
Well,
ceremony, right? Of course.
yeah. No, I think it's funny. I mean, there was a whetstone in the Sutton Hoo burial, the Saxon burial in England. There's
Yeah.
whetstones all over the world, and they're such a
Isn't it
practical
beautiful,
thing.
Bede?
I love the little ibex or whatever it is. Could even be a very weird water buffalo. It's a bit
Yeah,
skinny
I
for a
don't
water
know. Is
buffalo.
it a water buffalo? Is it? They call it a
The
goat, but
horns are very water buffalo-ish,
yeah,
but
very, very.
the making the socket to fit the stone in, putting a pin through, holding everything in place. Probably a wooden pin, so you could take the stone out occasionally
Yeah,
and
here you see
refinish.
that there where the bead says here, where see the hole here? That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the stone shows quite a bit of signs of use.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been used for um, well, I mean, a whetstone technically is used to
Yeah.
finish the edge and get rid of any curling or anything like that.
Yes.
But for sharpening,
This is
not
one of the
technically
most
sharp.
beautiful whetstones because of this, all this cap
Oh
here.
yeah, I mean that's lovely. Yeah, and
Here
you
we
can
have,
see.
simpler
Oh,
ones. Yes.
yeah, but the one on the top has a carved-in decoration of its own.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, this should be, I'm just sorry, Pete. I will come back to it. My apologies.
mhm.
This was something I need to correct. Not that we. Okay, yes, here you go. It's 1000, not 100. Yes,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I corrected it just for
yeah.
people. It's not misleading for
So
people who want to refer to them, right? That's the reason. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
but yeah, these are from Azerbaijan. So
yes, in the Western Iran, in Azerbaijan part.
mm.
Yes, yes,
So it's funny if you didn't know about how people sharpen knives and swords and things, you just see these as a weird piece of stone that's been carved out for some purpose. But a lot of archaeologists have a really good idea about this because they know what they're for. Because you know, there's writing about them. Everybody that uses knives in the old days had to sharpen their knives all the time or keep them sharp. I mean, in butchers today have steels that function the same as these stones, where you
yes,
whip the blade along it to take off any burrs on the edge
yes.
and keep the edge straight and aligned.
Beat,
And
they have
this,
animal heads as well, but made in one piece of stone, everything, right?
yeah, so that's a mountain sheep or something like that on the
Yes,
top one,
yes,
and the other one is like a dog or a bear
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It really, I mean, just I saw someone making these in Ireland
Ah,
on a one of those shows where they say, vanishing crafts, and there were people in Ireland making these biconical whetstones for sides, the big cutting implement for trimming wheat and things like that. So that the technology
mm,
lasted, well, they were in the 20th century. I don't know if they're still making them. It was a family business. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. But the technology survived and it worked just as well in the 20th century as it did in the first century BCE. I mean, it's 3,000 years of functioning design. They didn't have as they weren't as pretty as these, I'll admit, but
to me, Beat,
same.
regarding
Mhm.
looks, this is the most beautiful whetstone from three.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
It's got a character.
yeah, it's very beautiful.
Uh, yeah, and functioning, it's probably a good design because the head hooked around the hand when you were holding it and stropping your knives. Oh, this is interesting. So that's a combined adze and axe,
Yes,
which is a common carpenter's tool.
yes,
I've got one hanging on my wall out there that I use for fine carving. Except it's German made though,
yes,
but it's Fail, I think, makes it.
yes,
But these are very useful tools.
yes.
Whereas the other one, uh, maybe a weapon.
Yeah.
I think.
The other one is like a double-headed axe, something like that, right?
Yeah, but it's got two different types of axe blades. Whereas
Yes.
this is the one on the left is an adze and an axe.
Here, this one.
So that
Yes.
yeah, which I would tend to think is I mean it's decorated,
Yeah. It's
but
decorated.
it's modeled on a tool rather than on a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Very
and
good.
it may be have a military significance in the fact that the artificers or whoever is setting up the camps and everything when the army moved may have been issued the leader of that group of people might have been issued with a pretty one with that's got little stamped in or carved in decorations.
I
This
think this.
one
Yeah.
now I think it's a weapon, but it could be a log splitter. So like these wedge-shaped axe-looking objects that you use for splitting logs and that. So it may not be a weapon. This is one of the problems. You see these things and out of context, you're not really sure. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's dug up next to a guy who was clearly a carpenter, then it's not a weapon. If
Yes.
it's dug up next to a soldier, who knows?
Now look
These
at this.
are a class of axe, and one of them I think would be called a hammer because it's very blunt.
Unbelievable. Look at the quality of
These
them.
long, thin axes were developed just after people developed helmets, and they were designed for punching holes through people's helmets.
Yes. Look at
Uh,
this speed.
yeah, this one particularly looks particularly fierce. Look at how they've got a strengthening rib on the blade.
Yeah.
The blade itself is
Yeah.
quite thick at the base, but rapidly tapers down to get the penetration you need. Because
Yes.
they're an axe, but they're really for stabbing.
Yeah.
When they will penetrate through armor, or they'll penetrate through, say, a bronze helmet. You wouldn't want to get hit on your helmet with that.
No, no. Look at this one, Pete.
That one would just knock you out.
Yeah, definitely. Solid piece.
I mean, that would be blunt force trauma. But it's really beautifully designed, isn't it?
Very, very.
I just sometimes you just think of how much thought went into the design of these, and we will never know what that design meant to the people that did it because they didn't
Oh,
write stuff down.
absolutely. And look at this one, Pete.
Wow, that's kind of like space age looking, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. It looks so
Yeah,
medieval, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's and there's all kinds of little decorative bits, like a decorative band that's from below the socket, then goes up over the socket where the socket
You know,
drives
it
it
looks
up.
like a
And
bird hat somehow.
yes, it does. Like the beak on the left and like a cock's comb on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah. I wonder if those other axes there was some kind of bird, the ones that had all the spikes,
yeah, could
whether
be.
that was some kind of bird symbolism or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's you've got to kind of look at these with slightly blurred vision to see what shapes they match. See, this is so chunky.
Yeah, look at the
I mean,
thickness of it, Pete. Look.
I know this would have so much weight, even in a small head. And you could probably whack through anything somebody's trying to
Yeah,
defend themselves with. That certainly would take out a helmet. I mean, it
yeah,
mightn't cut through the helmet, but it would bend it into a shape like that inside your skull.
yeah,
You'd
yeah.
be ruined. But it's so nice that this is another one it's so elegant. So this has got a long, uh, flat bladed, but diamond section for most of its blade on one side, and on the other side, it's got this big rounded blade, which is more like a mace. So they're not quite sure what they wanted to do with this one, but they were going to do it real solid. There's something symmetrical about that where the hole for the socket forms
Yeah.
two matching pieces, and then you've got the center line going from the back to the front and then flattening out like a fish or something.
Yes,
It's so abstract, it's hard to tell what it was.
unbelievable.
Really nice looking.
And look at
Oh, that
this
looks
one.
very efficient.
Dude, look how many styles. Unbelievable.
I know they've tried out everything you could do with axes, and because they're using bronze casting, if they don't like one, they can melt it down and recast it into a different shape.
Exactly.
But so many survive in these different shapes. I mean, I've got a 13th or 14th century axe head that's quite similar looking to that,
Yeah,
except it's made out of steel.
yeah.
And
It looks
the
like a tabar made of steel, the blade of this.
exactly, yeah. I mean, how long do these designs last, or how many times are they reinvented? Because maybe they didn't last. Maybe they lasted for a few hundred years and people forgot them, and then a few hundred years later, someone comes up with the same design or a similar design. See, that again is a piercing axe head. It's not if you hit somebody in the shoulder with that, that would break bones and go into the body. If you hit them on a helmet, it would penetrate the helmet.
Look at
Just
it.
look at how thick that cross section
It's
is.
unbelievable how thick it is, right?
I know. And
Gee.
as you said, there's so many different designs.
Yeah, unbelievable, Pete. And
Oh,
mace
maces.
hats. Look at
Oh,
mace hats, Pete.
oh, wow.
It's a magnificent collection. Really nice
They
collection.
some of them are beautiful. So
Look
starting
at
from the
this.
left, oh yeah,
We
well
go one
that's
by one.
serious.
Look at this one.
Yeah, in Chinese that would be a wolf tooth mace. Uh,
Dude, look at the
yeah, that would,
spikes. Unbelievable, huh?
and consider how much weight would be in the socket as well. So when you hit somebody with this is going to go in.
Yeah, this will go in.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be hit by that.
This will go in.
Yeah. Oh dear.
This is nasty, right?
It is. It's really basic. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This
Quite
looks,
frightening.
yeah. Look at this one, Beat.
That's so elegant.
Elegant,
There's
really elegant.
there's maces from the either just before or just after the Seljuk period in Nishapur,
Yes.
made out of bronze too, but have these long mace heads that are quite narrow.
Yeah,
So you mounted them on a wooden shaft,
yeah,
but they're not big globular ones. They're narrow ones like this.
yes.
And uh, when you think that there's a smaller cross section that's actually hitting the object, they probably delivered a lot of force when they were in use,
Yes.
but nowhere near as bulky as a regular mace.
Another one,
Yeah,
Beat.
there's
Look at this one.
yeah. I mean, when you look at them, they always look like cannons, don't they?
Yeah, it looks like a cannon, yes. You're right. It
Yeah,
looks like a
yeah.
cannon. Yeah.
So it's just making cylindrical things. How do you make them look elegant? Oh, you taper this bit in, you flare that bit in. Hey, it looks like a cannon. Oh, who's invented those?
You're right. Here looks like a
Really?
cannon hat, right? Here.
Yeah,
Mouth, cannon mouth, and then
yeah. And the other end where the rope goes around the back of the it's an uncanny. Uh, but as a mace, it's a good
look, had
mace.
I
As I
put it
said,
horizontally, would have said
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
cannon.
Oh,
You're
you
right.
could cause all kinds of conspiracy theories. Oh, they had cannons back 1,000 BC. Yes, we've got proof. And the worst part is, of course, they've got a hole down the middle where the shaft goes, so they'd really stick it in.
You're right.
Oh dear.
Look at this one. This
Now
is
that's a
beautiful.
classical base, isn't it?
That's a classical, yeah. Many of them survived, yeah.
Yeah. And effective. There's a lot of mass in the head.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
it's see that I'm not sure if this is true, but one of the differences they say in mace heads, the flange maces were developed after armor with plates in it started to be used a lot because they stopped the mace sliding off the armor, whereas this one could bounce off. But if you hit somebody, um, even wearing scale armor or something with one of these, it would just sink in. It would
Yeah,
cause so much damage. But on the other hand, if you're a general or an important person carrying one of these across your shoulder, you'd be very impressive
very.
at the sheer quality of the design. This
Pete, look
one,
at this one. Looks like a star.
there's a whole class of maces from Peru that have a disc-shaped head like
Yes,
that. And some of
unbelievable.
them are indented too. And of course, again, we're talking about thousands of kilometers and thousands of years in time difference. And people came up with the same designs because it
Yes,
worked.
with no interactions between cultures.
Yeah, none at all. We just thought, how's the best way with the materials we have at hand to hit somebody and hurt them really bad? Oh, if we make a disc, it's going to sink right in, but we don't have to worry about whether it's an axe head facing that way or facing that way. It'll cut no matter which angle we hit.
Yes, which angle?
Mm.
Look at this one.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful. Yeah.
See, this is where maces turn into jewelry.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful piece of carving.
Yeah.
I mean, round ball stone-headed maces were common across the whole of the Near East and Middle East.
Yeah.
So ancient Egypt had these as well, and you
Look at
have
the
them all
polishing.
over. Yeah, and these are just like a work of art.
They are.
Because the advantage of polishing is that you eliminate all the fine surface cracks, and they're the areas where a piece of stone would
Yes.
fail. If you've got a mace like this, you aim at unprotected heads
Yeah.
because you don't want to damage the mace.
Oh,
You're
boy.
not worried about the guy you're fighting. That one is modern art. Like if this was cast in the mid 20th century, nobody'd be surprised.
If you put it in Salvador Dali's collection, they think it was his creation.
Oh, for sure. It almost looks like a face, doesn't it? A little round
It
mouth and
does.
two big eyes in it. No, but it's just so modern looking in an artistic sense on them.
It is.
It's quite, it looks like a very functional mace head, but boy, is it beautifully designed because it's this alternating prisms coming out of the surface. And then you get kind of like a ridge down to the next prism and then a hollow. It's really beautifully designed. Oh, pouring vessels.
Yes, these are from Amlash. Yes,
Mhm.
1000 BCE.
Yeah, so you fill them up with liquid, possibly alcoholic, and go up to somebody and they hold out their cup and you just pour it out,
I mean,
in a
I would
squirt.
love to have one of them, to be honest, modern made, to just pour something.
Oh, it'd be great for a water carafe or something like that, where you could
Yeah.
just go. "Look," people would be so impressed. And they're charming. I mean, I've seen a lot of pottery from Iran with really long spouts, like it's like a bowl with a little spout comes out the side. Then it goes up to an open spout like this that's three times longer than the whole bowl. Because they really, because I'm sure that this is technically hard to make these
You
where they
know,
don't break.
the museums uses the word, one of them is a Kuh, andere Stier. So it means one of them is a cow, one of them is a bull. So I'm just wondering which one is a cow, which one is a bull.
I'm afraid you'd have to turn them around, I think. I think the
Exactly.
reason they could tell the
That's right.
difference
That's
is that,
why they tell
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
But again, sometimes they call these libation vessels so that when you made a sacrifice to the gods, you would pour
Yeah.
honey or wine or
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
as part of the sacrifice. But they use the word writer,
Yes.
which is the plural of writen. They
Yes.
were very popular in Achaemenid around right up
Yes.
into the
Very. Very.
they were used into the early Sasanian period, I
Yes.
think.
Sasanian as well.
Yeah. So I saw a guy from the British Museum with on a YouTube clip demonstrating how the writing was used, and the Achaemenid ones have like a big
Yeah.
um, bowl and an animal's head, and they have a hole like there. So if the head's there, there's a hole there, and you put your finger over it, and when you want to pour, you take your finger away, and because of the pressure of liquid, it shoots out in a stream into your cup. Now, this curator was of the opinion that the person, like the king, would do that by himself. Like he'd hold this in one hand with his finger over the hole and pour it into his cup with the other, and then put it and then drink it. He would have had a servant do that for
Of
him.
course, he would have a servant. I mean,
I
they
mean, the
didn't.
only time you'd hold it yourself if they had drinking competitions, when
Yeah.
you, which the Greeks would have liked, when you held it up and tried it, like they do in Spain with
Yeah.
the what are they called? I can't remember the name of the pottery things that have a little spout on one side and a top. Um, I love. There's something really cute about the proportions of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is a rider, right? This is so funny,
Yeah,
this one. Yeah.
yeah. It's it's much more like modern art than it is like ancient art, where the ancient art is
Yeah.
so precise. This is fun,
This is really unbelievable. Look at this from the front, right?
and they've got all kinds of decorations. Well, I assume it's a horse he's riding. He may even have a crested helmet on
Yeah. They're really funny, huh? I like them.
and turned up toe shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Shoes as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
No,
And look at,
I think the
hmm?
one on the left had a very nice expression on its face.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's just a happy little cow, but he pours out of his mouth, I think.
Yes, out of mouth. Yes.
Yeah.
And look at these ones,
Oh,
Beat. These
beautiful.
are on top Achaemenid period.
Mm.
Look at the silver.
They do such beautiful workmanship.
Unbelievable, huh?
And that flower motif in the center of the bowl is kept on going in Iran for centuries, thousands of years.
Yes. And
They
the other
love
one
those
is
flowers.
bronze
Hmm.
as well. They're
Still
all
very
from
complex
Achaemenid
design.
period, and
Mhm.
this one is from Western Anatolia. There, this down there, right here.
Oh yeah, Vestan, I thought, yeah,
Yeah. Aren't they
yeah. I mean,
beautiful?
they are. I how how yeah, because a lot of
Unbelievable.
these are actually for drinking rather than just
Yeah,
putting
I think
fruit and
so.
grapes in.
Yes,
So delicate.
yes.
I understand how people did it. I could not come within an inch of
Back
every
then, B,
single one of the, yeah, every single one of those flutes is done by hand.
back then. Look at
Yeah,
technology. Look at this one. Is from Hassan Lu. Is a handle. So this,
he's some kind of wildcat, isn't he?
yes,
Maybe a leopard.
yes.
He's very angry. Look at that mouth with the big
Very
fangs.
angry, yes. Yes. Very angry, yes. Beautiful, huh?
Oh yeah.
Really
I
beautiful.
mean, these are whole civilizations in Iran that because they didn't have writing. I mean, the Elamites had writing, so we know a fair bit about them. But these other groups, we don't even know their names for themselves. We know Assyrians at the same time said there was a group over there called the such and such,
Yes.
like the Manouchers or whatever. But we don't really know what their names are.
Yes, no.
So
These
these
are
are,
Achaemenid again beat, gold.
yeah, earrings. Yeah.
Yes,
You see them earrings like this in the bas reliefs at Persepolis, don't you?
yes,
Some of the people are wearing big earrings like this. It's not just female, men and women wear earrings.
yes. So
Very attractive.
very attractive. And now we go here, beat. This is from Marlik,
Yeah,
and what we saw in the beginning. Do you remember? Look, beat
yeah.
gold.
Isn't that really well done?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got ibises or some kind of mountain goat all around the edges.
Yeah,
It's got him because
yeah,
he's got a beard,
yeah.
um, and he's got little curls on the side
It's
coming down
quite
his
big.
head.
It's a quite large disc, huh?
Yeah, what's about this big?
Yeah, exactly. That
Yeah.
size.
So
What is it, the
uh,
purpose of such a disc?
often discs like that were mounted on horse harness on the horse's chest
Yeah,
or on the sides. Remember the Sasanian reliefs of
yeah.
the
Ah,
king
yeah,
on
I
his horse?
remember.
You
Yes,
see big discs all over the.
yes,
I know this is earlier,
yes,
uh, a lot earlier. So this is first
yes.
1,000 years before Christ, or the second to the first 1,000 years
For
before
more
Christ.
comparative pieces, you can see of bronze arm
Yeah,
weapons
yeah,
here in
yeah.
these
Your
two
book is really
books.
good for that. Both of them are good for that because you have,
Yeah,
well, the lexicon. I think for researchers is more valuable because the site it not only has photographs but it has the names in the original
yes,
scripts and all that kind of stuff, which is
yes,
really useful if you're doing research.
yes,
The arms and armor from Iran is just the encyclopedia. That
yes.
if you're interested in Iranian arms and armor, this is the thing to have on your bookshelf. I've got it on mine. The bookshelf kind of bows a little bit because it's
Yes,
so heavy.
yeah,
But I mean, I've got the lexicon next to my bed because it's the thing in the middle of the night you can't think of anything to read. You can pick it up and read a section about something really obscure.
yes.
Lots of stuff about swords, lots of stuff about bows and arrows, obviously.
Thank you.
Uh, Terribly useful. Well, it's for somebody like me. I mean, even if I never published anything, it would be really nice to be able to look stuff up and say, now I know what that's called, or now I know where that came from. And I like the way that in that all the way through it, you give phrases of how, when they're describing somebody using one of these weapons, how it was said at the time.
Yes,
And I think that brings it much more alive than just saying, oh, it's a knife and they
yes,
stab people with. And you've
yes.
got things like stabbing someone from underneath into the
Yes,
abdomen.
that's true. We go now to the next.